can only imagine. But your mom said she was sending you a book.
Yep.
My cat's sleeping on her cat tree in the living room.
And I don't know how she's going about this.
I was thinking about this today, and I was like, I'm the victim here. I'm the fucking victim here. I was the one that was being preyed upon, and I fought back.
Right.
And I'm like, so it's my fault because I asked them to turn their radio down.
Right.
It's like I got attacked, and I fought back because I didn't want to be a victim, and now I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Is claiming self-defense?
I refuse to be a victim, and now I'm incarcerated.
Oh, no.
I somehow insulted these boys by asking them to turn the radio down, and for that, they were going to kill me. I mean, it's absurd that they would do that, but, they're violent.
Well, honey, I don't think we should talk about it anymore.
I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, they attacked me. I'm the victim. I'm the victor, but I was the victim, too.
In the late Friday afternoon of November 23, 2012, a young couple were getting married at the Winterbourne Inn, an impressive wedding venue situated along the St. Johns River. They held hands and recited vows in near silence as 50 guests looked on toward the scenic ceremony. One of those guests, sitting in the front row, was 45-year-old software developer Michael Dunn, the father of the groom. Sitting next to him was his girlfriend of 4 years and fiancé of 6 months, 45-year-old nurse Rhonda Rower.
Raise your right hand, please. The clerk's going to administer the oath to you. Right hand. There you go. Just relax. It's okay. Relax.
She did the wrong hand. That's so me. Marco, they've been 1 year. Happy 1 year anniversary. Welcome back. Thank you. Oh my gosh, she's so scared.
Someone
She's
by
shaking.
the name of Michael Dunn?
Yes, I do.
How long have you known Mr. Dunn for?
About 4 years.
Ms. Rower, what is your relationship to Mr. Dunn?
He's my fiance.
Why did you and the defendant come up to Jacksonville on Thursday night for the Friday wedding?
Because we have a puppy named Charlie, and because you usually can't check into hotels until like 3 or 4, and with the wedding being at 4, we didn't think we'd have time to get settled.
They had just drove 2 hours from their shared home in Brevard County, and their 7-month-old French bulldog named Charlie was waiting for them at a hotel roughly 15 miles from the venue.
And did you have anything to drink during the reception?
I had a glass of red wine, and then I had about 2 to 3 rum and cokes.
And do you know whether or not the defendant had anything to drink?
He had rum and coke as well.
Do you know how many drinks he had?
He maybe had 3 or 4.
They stayed for just over 3 hours at the reception, then reportedly had to leave early to go back to the hotel and take the puppy for a walk. They were staying at the Sheraton Hotel on Deerwood Park Boulevard, but as they were driving back, decided to pull into the Gate gas station on Bay Meadows Road at the last minute.
What was the reason for stopping at the gas station?
To get a bottle of wine.
And whose idea was it, Ms. Rower?
Mine.
Just before they got to the gas station, the car in front of them had the same idea and pulled in just before they did. The occupant of that vehicle would be known as Witness 7.
When you pulled up, was there an open spot to the right of the red Dodge Durango?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Tell these jurors why you didn't pull into that empty spot next to the sidewalk.
Heard the loud music. Didn't want to deal with it.
The Dodge Durango in question belonged to 18-year-old Tommy Storns, who at the time was inside the store buying cigarettes, while his 3 friends, Leyland Brunson, Jordan Davis, and Tevin Thompson, remained in the car.
At some point while the 3 of you are waiting for Tommy Storns to come back, did a car pull into the parking space on the passenger side of the Dodge Durango?
Yes, sir.
And is that the side that you were sitting on?
Yes, sir.
Driving that car was Michael Dunn, who uttered something to his fiancée before she went inside.
Did the defendant say anything about the music when he parked the car next to the red car?
Yes.
And what did the defendant say?
I hate that thug music.
And what was your response to the defendant?
Boy.
I said, yes, I know.
What happened, Ms. Rower, after the defendant parked the car?
I gave him a kiss, I took $20
I know where
and
this
I
is
went into
fucking
the store.
going.
Mr. Thompson, while the three of you were waiting for Tommy Storns, did the defendant say anything to you or in your direction?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
He said, "Can you turn the music down? I can't hear myself think."
And what did you do when he said, turn the music down?
I turned the music down.
When you turned the music down, did either Leland Brunson or Jordan Davis say anything to you?
Yes, sir.
Who spoke?
Jordan.
And what did Jordan Davis say?
Turn the music back up.
And what did you do when you got back to the Durango?
I opened the door, I danced a little bit to the song that was playing, I got in the car.
Did you see or hear the driver say anything to Jordan Davis after Tommy Storns got back in the Durango?
I'm trying to keep up with all the names.
What was that?
Are you talking to me?
And how could you hear that?
Tevin turned the music down.
When?
When Tommy got back in to let him know what happened.
Did Jordan Davis say anything back to the driver when the driver said, "Are you talking to me?"
Yes.
What did he say?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Please tell the jurors what happened next.
I heard someone yell, or someone say something very loud.
And what did you hear that person say?
No, you're not gonna talk to me that way.
What did you see the driver of the other car do when Jordan Davis said, "Yeah, I'm talking to you"?
He reached into his glove compartment.
It was a big silver chrome, either 9mm or a 45. It was a large caliber.
You recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Does that appear to be the gun that you saw in the defendant's hand?
Yes, sir.
And what did the driver do with the gun when he grabbed it from the glove compartment?
He was holding it and cocked it back.
As you were walking to the register, did you hear anything unusual?
Yes.
What did you hear?
I heard pop, pop, pop.
Within 3 minutes of Michael Dunn pulling into the gas station, he fired a total of 10 shots into the vehicle next to him. The first 3 shots came through the back passenger side door, at which moment Tommy Storns hit reverse and backed up at full speed. The 4th shot missed, while shots 5, 6, and 7 came through the front passenger side door. The SUV then did a J-turn, at which point Michael Dunn got out of his car, took aim at the retreating vehicle, and fired 3 more shots into the back. The amount of time that passed from the first volley of gunfire to the second was exactly 4 seconds.
Oh, that's so fucking terrifying.
Tommy Storns' quick thinking most likely saved multiple lives, as he took the car out of the shooter's line of fire midway through the first volley. Unfortunately, however, it wasn't enough to save everyone, as Jordan Davis had already been struck 3 times. He was hit in the leg, lungs, and heart, causing him to bleed to death in under 45 seconds. He was 17 years old. Roughly 20 seconds after the gunfire ceased, Rhonda realized it was her fiancé that had fired the shots, at which point she went outside to see what was going on.
And so I opened the door, and he said, "Get in the car." And I don't know if I said what.
And he said
he's if I said
the
anything,
victim?
or if I just hesitated. And he said, "Get in the car." But he was, you know, he just had that sound in his voice, you know, of urgency. Yeah. And so I got in the car.
You get in the car, he pulls out to leave. What's the conversation like in the car?
Is his fiance here? Like, is she still, like, by his side and everything?
What happened?
Hi,
That's what I said. I said, "What happened?"
Thank you for
and
the
he
raid.
Said, I shot.
Thank you, Shiv, for the raid. I'm so sorry I couldn't play Apex with you today. I will make it up to you. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys had fun.
The car, and I'm like,
thank you so much.
We're moving at this time.
Right.
And I said, "What car?" And he said, "The one with the music." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because they threatened to kill me." And I'm like, I don't understand, Michael. And I don't remember the exact words that he used, but it was like that they started to advance, and I reacted.
Okay, they started
but they're like driving away, and he's still shooting them while they're driving away. Like,
I said,
dude,
"Did you hurt anyone?" And he said, "No, I just shot at the car." And you know, in my head,
10 times.
Yeah, I think
Oh my God!
already told
Sorry.
us. Okay.
Welcome,
You
Ships
just tell me.
viewers. I just I'm watching
So in my head, I'm thinking
a crime documentary, and I'm getting so
what
angry.
What were you thinking? Why, would you do this? But I could see that he was already upset, and I didn't want to add to that.
Right.
So I kept those thoughts to myself, and I figured I'd just tell him in the morning.
Okay.
And
is this all in the car? Or
Yes.
Okay, this is all in the car.
And then by then, we were back at the hotel.
Okay.
Michael then walks the dog, orders a pizza, and pours himself a stiff rum and coke before they both go to sleep. There was almost no conversation between them the entire night.
Just kind of walk me through kind of how the morning plays out.
Okay. So I got up, and I started getting dressed, and the news is on. And and I see the red SUV. Now, mind you, I had no idea what kind of vehicle they were in, but I knew it was red. And so I see the red SUV being towed, and all I hear are shooting, convenience store, loud music, and then I don't know if they said a person was dead or just one dead, and I said, Mike, and I turned around and he was standing in the doorway of the bathroom, and he said, yes, I saw him. And then I said, we need to go home.
Okay, so you get your car and drive home.
Yes.
Do you stop at all coming home?
No.
Okay, so you drive straight to the house.
Straight to the house.
What's kind of how does that all play out?
He just kept telling me that he loved me.
The whole drive down?
Yeah.
Were you guys really talking about it at all?
No, we were listening to the radio, and then he would turn it down and just say, I love you, and I know, okay. But I'm dumbfounded.
Right. It's okay. Take your time. Take a minute.
And it was just a horrible trip home.
Right.
And so no, I didn't want to hear anything. And so I was just get us home.
Right.
Get us home.
Okay.
And then when I walked back in the house is when I got the call from you.
Witnesses at the scene of the shooting took down Michael's number plate, and police were able to track him down at his home in Brevard County. He was brought back to the JSO Police Department without incident, and immediately subjected to interrogation. It began at exactly 4 p.m., 22 hours after the shooting.
If you do answer questions, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time and consult with a lawyer, okay? Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you could just sign where it says signature, and by signing there, you're just acknowledging that
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that angry at the fiance.
Obviously,
But it looks like a lot of people in chat are, so I'm like trying to think like, am I?
It's important to contemplate what the suspect is most likely thinking at this moment, as well as the character he is now trying to play. He wants to come across as the victim, who had no other choice but to take the action he did the night before, and needs to appear as rational, reasonable, and as considerate as possible. He knows that someone has died due to a situation that he initiated, and now needs to bend not only the facts, but also the perceptions of others.
So just kind of walk me through, just tell me from your point of view, what you guys pull up, you're driving, it's your car, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're driving?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a Volkswagen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she's sitting in the passenger seat, no one else in the car with you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just kind of walk me through kind of what happened at that point.
Well, I'm embarrassed to say this, but got out, she's in the store, and there's like a SUV next to us, and then the music starts, and I roll down my window, and I thought I was polite. I asked them nicely, I didn't demand, I didn't, or else I said, hey, would you guys mind turning that down? And they shut it off. I was like, thank you. Cordial, everything's cordial. I put my window back up, I'm doing my stuff, and I don't know how many kids are in that, but the windows are down for the back seat. The windows are up for the front seat.
Okay.
And the guy that was in the back is getting really agitated. And my window's up. I can't hear everything he's saying, but, there's a lot of fuck him and fuck that, and fuck that bitch, and then the music comes back on, and you know, I'm just like, live and let live, and you know, don't need any trouble.
The detectives will entertain his standpoint for the time being.
I thought
They
you
will
said he
remain as
couldn't hear
neutral as
anything.
possible as he recounts his own narrative. This is because they need him to divulge as much information as possible while he remains without counsel. The more detail he gives away, the more they will have to evaluate and possibly use against him at a later stage. They will almost appear to be agreeing with everything he says,
Jocelyn.
which is for the purpose of encouraging disclosure. If they were to challenge him this early, it would more than likely prevent him from opening up.
And I don't know if they're singing or what, but it's like, they're saying, kill him. So I put my window down again, and I said, excuse me, are you talking about me? And it was like, kill that bitch. And you know, I'm still not reacting, but then this guy like goes down on the ground and comes up with something. I thought it was a shotgun, and he goes, "You're dead, bitch!" And he opens his door, and I'm shitting bricks. But that's when I reached in my glove box, unholstered my pistol. I mean, I practice this. I'm at the Fort Malabar Rifle and Pistol Range. I'm an avid, you know, gun guy and all that. No military training or anything, but I have friends who are in the military that show me the
proper way.
Yes, and so quicker in the flash, I had a round chambered in it, and I shot. That's when I reached in my glove box, unholstered my pistol. Quicker in the flash, I had a round chambered in it.
The prosecution would later argue that if the suspect was so traumatized both during and after the incident, as he stated multiple times, he wouldn't feel the need to add dramatic pauses while recounting the event, nor add complimentary remarks to his gun handling skills. It's almost as if he can't help but boast about the
Look how
shooting, despite
fast
being so allegedly horrified and shaken up by it.
Okay. Do you remember how many times you shot?
4.
Okay. Okay, just keep walking me through kind of
All
what you
right,
remember.
well, I shot 4 times, and that SUV pulled out, and like I said, in my mind, they got a gun, and so, you know, not training, just from, I was still scared, and so I shot 4 more times as they were fleeing.
As they were fleeing?
Yeah, trying to keep their heads down to not catch any return fire.
Okay. All right, and then
and that was it. I mean, I still didn't feel safe. I thought, you know, there was another car. I didn't know. I mean, I'm in a strange town in a strange area. I just had my life threatened. The love of my life is in the store, and she doesn't know what's going on. She come outside to see what was up, and I was just like, get in the car, we have to go. I just didn't feel safe there. In fact, we had plans, in fact, a fairly expensive bed and breakfast paid for in St. Augustine.
More unnecessary detail that someone distraught by a recent event wouldn't feel the need to clarify. If he genuinely thought he was as close to being killed as he stated, or if he was at all upset about the fate of the young man he had just shot dead, the fact that he missed out on a fairly expensive bed and breakfast would most likely be overlooked.
And
I just go home
you know, after what happened last night, and we were like, we have to go home and call the local sheriff and tell him what's up.
Well, where'd you go after when
We
you
went
left?
right to our room.
You went right to the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't leave. We were just
Stayed in the hotel
shitting
room?
bricks, waiting for another carload of thugs to come. I mean, I'd never been so scared in my life.
These exact statements were brought up when his fiancée Rhonda was interviewed 4 days later.
Michael said something in the interview that was kind of, he made a comment that you guys went back to the room and he was basically waiting on some thugs with guns to come to the room at any given time. When you guys got back to the hotel, did he take the gun out of the glove box and take it up to the room with you guys?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you left it in the car.
I do believe so.
Okay. And then you go to the room and he gets the dog and goes outside and walks the dog.
So he's so comfortable that even he'll go back outside and walk again without the gun with the dog.
Fucking weird.
I would have to assume so, yes.
Okay. And you guys just stayed in the hotel room at that point? Did you go anywhere else?
No, we ordered out.
Ordered.
We got pizza.
Pizza.
The investigators have secured their baseline narrative from the suspect and will now slowly ramp up the pressure. They will begin to destabilize his thought process by inducing anxiety and then set traps for him to incriminate himself further. They essentially need him to panic, and as he
I watch a
panics,
scary
they will pose
movie
more
and,
calculated
like, I
questions.
need to sleep with my lights
However,
fucking
they
on,
have to do
you
this
know?
in a subtle and
Like, how can
methodical
you go
manner,
outside
as if they
after?
push it too
I would
far.
not
They
be
could
able to.
scare him into shutting down completely, or even into requesting legal counsel and ending the interrogation right then and there.
I know you're in a strange town, and you have this traumatic event happen to you, and I can understand that. Okay. The problem, I can tell you, where we start to kind of get a little wondering is, by the time you say you get to your hotel room, you're calling to order pizza. Why aren't you calling us?
I wanted to come back to my hometown to do that. I shouldn't even left the scene. But I left the scene because I was still afraid for.
But you went
Okay, and I can live with that. Okay, I can live with that. You don't necessarily want to hang around right where the shooting happened because you don't know if these guys are coming back. I'm good with that.
Or if there are more.
So weird.
But once you leave,
Yeah, like,
and you are
I
away
would not
from
be
that
able to
scene,
have a pizza man at
and
my
you've
door.
gotten to
That's
a hotel
weird.
room and inside your hotel room at that point, now it doesn't. Now it makes me wonder, because if you make a phone call, one, we find out, a lot quicker what's going on. Okay. The reason he and I haven't been to sleep since sometime yesterday is because we're trying to figure out. All we know is we got a dead kid in a car, okay, and we got a guy who shot and hauled ass. That's all we know. I mean, I'm just. That's where we start to get a little concerned. It starts to be, we can speak that I personally have had a case with an individual who was moving to Jacksonville, first day in Jacksonville, and got involved in an incident and felt threatened and shot another person and was in their car, and he drove across the street to another parking lot and got on the phone with 911 immediately and started walking police into where he was. That's the way
I have nothing to say other than.
So other problems that we have too. When you began to shoot, can you honestly tell us that you ever saw a gun inside that vehicle?
I saw a barrel come up on the window.
He has now gone from saying that he saw a shotgun to now seeing a barrel come up on the window, and his emphasis while giving the statement was weak and unconvincing.
Okay, but
if he had
was there a
spoken with an
gun in
attorney,
there?
his response to this question would have been that he without a doubt saw a shotgun, and his conviction to the claim would have been immensely forceful. It would make it far easier for his defense to create reasonable doubt within the jury,
No,
which
so
the
then
suspect has now
what
made
the
extremely difficult, and
fuck
continues
are you
on to
talking
make
about?
it even more so.
Like a single shot shotgun where there's a barrel. I didn't see this part of the barrel, I saw that part of the barrel. And it was either a barrel or a stick, but sir, they're like, we're gonna
They're
kill
what?
you. And then they say, you're dead, bitch.
Nah.
I mean, I
He's racist.
didn't wait to
Yeah.
look to
We all
see
know.
if they were gonna point it at me. He reached down and picked
Yeah.
it up. And
You
then
say who reached down and picked it up?
well, hopefully it's the guy that I hit. Though it was.
Where was he sitting when he reached
He
down
was
and
sitting
picked
in
it up?
the rear.
You love this investigation. I mean, look, I'm not
And
the only one
that's
who
the guy
really
that
likes it.
was,
There's 9 million views on this
really
video.
agitated. And then that's the guy that I asked, are you talking about you're gonna kill me? Like I said, I didn't know what, my window is up. He was saying a lot, but that's what came through And I put my window down to ask him.
And the music is still playing at this time? And
Yes, but he is really loud and really animated.
Louder than the music that's bothering you?
Yes, well, the music was a nuisance at first. You know, with my car shut and the windows up, and you just hear the heavy bass. And like I said, I just said, hey, would you mind turning it down? And they did. They shut it off, which, you know, I said thanks. But it really wasn't an issue of loud music. It was an issue of them threatening my life.
But it started from me.
Absolutely, and you know that's when I started telling you guys
was
I'm
playing
embarrassed.
when you pulled up?
No, it was not.
It was not.
So you guys pull in. Okay.
That's not
Now,
true.
when he pulls in,
It was
he pulls
already
in next
playing.
to the red SUV. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It was already there.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. And was the music playing?
Yes.
Okay. The music's playing.
Like
Like-
I said, there's some issues that we have. I'll be the first to tell you there's no weapons in the car.
Put yourself in the suspect's position and imagine everything you had said up to this moment was truthful. You had just shot and killed a person, yet fully believed it was either your life or theirs, a legitimate and justifiable act of self-defense. Now imagine the outright shock and dismay you would feel at the very moment you realized that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I don't know what you saw.
That's possible. When they drove off, they dumped it.
They never left the parking lot.
They circled around until they saw you leave, and then they drove right back. Because they saw you leave at that
They saw
point.
you leave and they realized their friend had been hit. So they never left the parking
And
lot.
they came right back at that point.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
It's evident that he's unremorseful over the consequences of his conduct, yet also appears to be totally unaware of the magnitude of his own situation. He's far too relaxed, and the detectives ramp up the pressure once more.
Here's what has to happen. I know that from your position right now that you're going to do everything to protect yourself. And I can't say that I blame you for that. But we're going to need the total truth as to what happened, not this story that I've had from 7:30 last night till 12 o'clock today to fix up. Okay, because the only thing that's going to make sense to us is the truth matching the scene. And there was the biggest problem we got, the first hurdle we got to get over is that there is no weapon in that truck.
Do you have a stick?
There was nothing found in or near the car that resembled a stick nor a weapon. The suspect is now trying to forge a narrative that his actions were justified due to his perception of a threat, regardless of if there was one or not.
Well, the second problem we have is that
Doesn't matter.
that set of rounds when the truck is backing away from you, and you put 4 more sets in it, 4 more shots into it. That's an issue. Because now, if it's backing away, it's no longer a threat.
Yes, sir. I understand that. In my mind, they had a weapon.
Okay. I can't shoot someone because in my mind they had a weapon.
Okay.
That's the problem. I mean, if I walked up to someone right now and I'm having a confrontation with them and I think they have a weapon, the law doesn't allow me to shoot him because I think he has a weapon.
Let me ask you this: how were you when you pulled your gun out? Say you're sitting in your driver's seat like that, straight ahead. How did you shoot? Did you shoot one-handed? Did you shoot two-handed?
Two-handed, like that.
Two-handed, like this. You come across your body. Okay, and you shoot the first. What you said, 4 shots is what you remember, and then they start backing out. Do you continue to shoot through the window, or do you reposition yourself?
I don't recall, but I do remember getting out of my car and taking, like, getting sideways, and I was, like, waiting for the wink, or...
But once again...
all this is...
Okay. Once again, if you think they have something, think they have a shotgun.
They had a shotgun.
You think they have a shotgun. You're going to get out of your car so they can get aim on you? Make any sense?
Well, at the time, I was doing everything on adrenaline and no...
But I'm just saying, we're trained to, if we think something is there, to get out of the way.
To get out of the way.
Cover or concealment. So you're telling me that you thought they had a shotgun, but you got out of your car so they would get a good aim at you, is what you're telling me.
No.
Well, I thought maybe they would shoot up the car.
Sammy, thank you so much for the raid.
Well, your car's not
Welcome,
shooting
Raiders.
You are.
Hi, my name is Janet. I'm watching crime documentaries right now. Sorry, my introduction is short. I just don't want to ruin the immersion for other people. But thank you so much for the raid. Thank you.
Honestly, sir, I'm at a loss to justify
This case
what
makes
I
me
did on
angry.
the second volley.
So you're gonna hear
Other
me
than
get really
saying
angry.
I
This is really
thought they were
frustrating.
going
to
to be
watch.
shooting back, and I was keeping them from doing that. And I was in such a panic.
So you get the gun, rack it, and then reassess?
No, I didn't reassess. I
So
started shooting.
you went, grabbed gun, rack, came up.
Yes, sir.
Give the Raiders a TLDR. Okay, so basically this guy that you see here pulls up next to another car, and the car was playing music, and then he said, turn the music down, and then apparently they said like, oh, we're gonna kill you. And then this guy's also saying he saw a gun, like a shotgun or like a stick in the background. So he goes and takes his gun from a glove compartment or whatever and starts shooting them. I think 10 times total. Like even when they're like driving away, he's like taking shots at them. And then a 17-year-old boy died. He doesn't call the police. Yeah, in a gas station. Okay, so like, oh, and he's like, oh, I'm the victim because it was like self-defense. Because they said they were going to kill me and I saw a stick or a shotgun, but there was no gun in the car.
You see him start to come out of the door of the truck.
He thinks it's like self-defense.
At that point, you turn to get your gun. Is that correct? You take it out of your glove box. You unholster it. You rack around, and you come back up on target.
Yes, sir. Fluid motion.
Okay. In the amount of time he's starting to get out of the truck when you first start to go get your, but yet by the time you come back and start shooting, he's still in the truck.
Mr. Great, they were the 14 months. Welcome back to Tatum. I'm you're happy. I'm happy. Thank you. It makes me really mad.
But that's where I'm a little thrown off.
Went to the hotel, walked the dog, ordered a pizza.
He is sitting in the
But
back
he was
seat
saying
of that
like
truck
he
when
was
he is hit.
afraid of his life.
Okay, because the bullet goes right through the door. 3 bullets went through that door. Okay, he wasn't hit standing outside the truck.
Oh no, I know I shot through the door, driving him back.
How'd you get out of the door?
Mr. Gray, thanks for gifting 5 subs. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you got gifted sub from Mr. Gray, please thank him. Thank you.
Latch is coming off the door. That's when I went to do what I was doing with the gun. And when I came back, I'm firing.
When the latch is coming off the door?
No, when I got my gun out of the...
When you said earlier, Beth, when you see the latch, what do you mean by the latch coming
Well,
off?
the door's
Thanks for
open.
gifting sub. Thank you.
So, and he's stepping out.
Playonic, thanks for the 6 months. Welcome back.
You
Thank
go
you
and
so
reach,
much.
but by the
Thank
time you come
you.
back and come up just blazing, somehow he's still sitting in the truck.
Well, maybe I'm not as fast with the whole thing as I think I am, but it was...
Or maybe he wasn't getting out of the truck.
No, absolutely he was.
This was refuted by forensics. The victim never got out of the truck, and the door was shut at the time the suspect opened fire. This was proven by correlating the angles of the bullets that came through the door, alongside the entry and exit wounds to the victim.
You're saying you feel like you have a threat that this guy's got a shotgun in your view. Okay, so you think he's getting out of the car. Okay, so you turn to get yours. If he's unarmed, which he is, why is he going to be...
I don't know, maybe
now
he thinks I'm unarmed. The sad fact of it is he's telling me he's going to kill me. You're dead, bitch.
Because you asked him to turn the radio down?
See, that's the part where I don't understand.
And you know what? And I'll tell you...
You're getting really agitated.
I understand it because, believe me, we deal with guys who you ask them to turn their radio down, they would get out of the car and shoot you. We deal with those kind of dudes all the time.
Here's what I can almost bet you a year of my salary on. When you got into a confrontation with those guys, a man of your stature, if there was a gun in that truck, they would have shot you. They wouldn't have had to get out. They would have shot right through. They would have shot from the truck just like you were shooting from your car. People don't get out of the car to be seen when they're shooting someone. They're going to shoot you right inside that truck.
All right. He's getting out of his car. We're this close to each other. He was getting out of his car after repeatedly telling me that he was going to kill me. So, is he going to bite my ear off or shoot me with a shotgun? I wasn't too concerned about how he intended to do it.
If you thought he had a shotgun, you most likely would be concerned with how he intended to do it. You would be likely more concerned with being shot with a shotgun as opposed to having your ear bitten off.
Now, and I'll tell you this. We talked to the other guys in the car, and they will all tell us he didn't like the fact that some stranger's telling him to turn his music down. He's 17. He's a teenager.
He's an idiot,
okay?
yeah.
You know how teenagers are. They're a little hard-headed sometimes, especially when they're out on
I like the
their own.
narrator. Yeah, his
And did he throw some F-bombs at you? Basically tell you to go fuck yourself multiple times? Absolutely. They said, yep, he was jaw-jacking back and forth with that guy. But at no time did any of them say, well, okay, he did say he was going to kill him. Because it makes no sense, because what's he going to do? He's not armed.
Mm-hmm.
What's he going to, I'm going to kill you and get out of a car. And we're talking about a kid. You know how many times that kid's been to jail? Never. He has no history of violence, and it's not like we're getting some street thug.
All the thing this kid has is a truancy in school.
We're not talking about a violent kid here. He has no track record. There are guys in Jacksonville who I'd go, okay, I believe that, because they got track records. This kid ain't got no track record. The kid sitting next to him doesn't have a track record. The kid sitting in front of him doesn't have a track record. None of them do. These aren't violent guys. They pull up so the driver can run in and buy cigarettes. It's the only reason they're even there. They just got back from going to the mall. That's it. So I have a hard time buying how I can totally see him talking shit to you. I can see that. But to take it to a level that he's threatening to end your life when he can't. There's no way he can. He doesn't have anything.
I didn't know that.
I know.
That's all the reason that you're not knowing that is all the reason why you took your next step too far.
Yeah, the problem is you went from 0 to 100
Yeah.
without ever getting to 50.
I have a guy very irate saying he wants me dead.
Oh, suck my dick, bitch.
Well, if the other guys aren't corroborating, I'm
Fox
sorry.
Reaper XD, thanks
And,
for
and
playing.
understand, too, there's people in the parking lot that can hear what's going on, too.
Not one of them. We have what's called independent witnesses.
Yeah, not associated.
I understand. I wasn't sure that I heard him right. That's why are you, is this directed towards me? You're going to kill me?
And that happens to be an exact quote of, are you talking to me? That was an exact quote. Guys with the truck said. He said something to the effect of, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
So that's dead on. Yeah, he was talking to you. He's basically telling you to go fuck yourself, and I'm going to turn the music back up.
Yeah, no, the music was already up, and he's talking, kill the guy.
I just can't understand, if the music is up to the point where you're asking them to turn it down, how can you also hear the conversation that they're having? It's not making any sense.
He's livid. He's not talking. He's yelling. And my window's up, and I can hear him. I'm not making out all the words, but then I hear.
Okay, but you also saw a fucking stick that wasn't there.
Yeah, kill that son of a bitch, or kill that motherfucker, I think is what he was saying.
How do you know it was him saying it?
Well, when I put the window down and I asked him, he said the same thing. Yeah,
Sarah,
kill him,
thank you for
motherfucker. And then
gifting us up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you know, when you say he didn't have a weapon, he's on the ground, and you put something up on the thing, and then gets out. I thought it was a shotgun.
Oh, suck my dick, bitch.
or a stick,
All the names are
some
taken
kind of
one.
weapon,
Thanks for the
but
prime. Thank you. Welcome. You guys like my new alert?
Confrontational, and using words like "I'm gonna kill you" and "you're dead." And
Okay,
I didn't
guys.
know he was 17. I thought he
Thank you
was
for the
full-grown
prime.
man.
Welcome.
And,
Thank you.
I don't know how many kids are in that, but
Yeah, now you're
the
saying
windows
they're
are
not
down for the
kids.
back seat. I didn't know he was 17. I thought he was full-grown man.
Yeah,
Fucking
right.
over.
Drastic, thanks for giving us
And
something.
in my
Thank
mind,
you.
they're all going to get out of this truck and shoot me or beat me
You know,
or
had that
kill
been the
me
case,
somehow.
we would have a different argument. Had anyone been out of the
Thank
truck,
you.
walking towards you in any type of threatening manner,
That's
we
true
would
too,
have...
yeah,
We
who
were
cares how
parked right
old?
next to each other.
Yeah.
That's
I know you were.
There was no
So-
walking. It was him
Either way,
getting
he's
out and
fucking
then
wrong.
using arm reach from me.
Yeah, but here, those cars are so close to each other, though. Him getting out, it's going to be hard for him to get out because he's back away from you. His door opens up. He's actually going to be shielding himself from where you are because you're closer up to the driver.
All these things you're saying are great, but see, I didn't analyze all these things. I got the shit scared out of me.
I know.
And some guy's coming at me, telling me what he's gonna do or wants to do. I reacted. I'm sitting here telling you guys I was in fear for my life. I honestly was. I have so much going on in my personal life. The last thing I want to do is be in trouble. I don't want to cause you guys a sleepless night. I don't want to lose my freedom.
He reverts back to this premise multiple times. He continuously associates these two reasons with the notion that he wasn't the instigator, yet not once does he mention that he wouldn't want a teenager to lose his life over a verbal altercation.
This is what we do. Don't worry about that. This is what we do.
Well,
Definitely
the
true.
last
Thank you for
thing
the
I'm
13
looking
months.
for is
Welcome
trouble.
back. Thank you.
The last thing. Sir, from where I was sitting, a shotgun was coming up at me, and so...
After breathe.
I don't want to sound
Dude, he's so
like an asshole,
victim.
but if it happened again
He just
tomorrow,
has victim mentality.
where a shotgun was
It's like
coming up,
pisses
I
me off.
think I would do the same.
Tana,
you know what?
XO, thank you sub. Welcome. Thank you.
If there was a shotgun coming up at you, we would expect
Azir,
it.
thank you for the 2 months. Welcome back. Thank you
The
so
problem
much.
that we have is that there is no shotgun. That's the bridge that we got to get across. You keep dwelling on the shotgun as if there was one at the scene. If there was a shotgun, a BB gun, any type of gun at the scene. Hell, if it was a water gun that was black that looked real at the scene.
Like I said, it was a barrel. Could have
Yeah,
been
but it
just a
wasn't
stick,
there.
But, I mean, it was...
There was no barrel or stick.
Well, no.
He said no with a rising intonation. The way in which he said the word doesn't correlate with its message. The intonation was more matched with the word maybe.
Well, no.
The pressure he's under is causing disorientation in his critical thinking. He was unable to process the adjustment in his thoughts to his words quick enough, and that's why they came out mixed together.
I mean, anything's possible, I guess, but him coming out of his car was not my imagination.
Okay.
And it was right after I saw that he started coming out of his car and saying, "You're dead, bitch."
When you went and grabbed your gun, racked it, and came back around, what were you shooting at? Did you acquire a target or did you just start shooting?
I shot at the door.
Which door? Which door?
The rear passenger.
You shot at his door?
Yes.
Okay.
What was the purpose of that?
Saved my life.
From the door?
No, he was coming out of his door, and I guess he went back in it, but that's where he was
Let's just say,
prior.
hypothetically, you and him exchange words, he opened the door to go in the store to use the bathroom.
He wouldn't have said, "You're dead, bitch," and then...
I'm just saying.
Well, then I guess I would be in trouble if that was the case.
Blogification, thank you for the 2
not
months.
what
Thank you.
happened.
Sarah, thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you.
We are so lucky. Really? There should be 3 of those 4 should have been hit. 3 of those 4. You could have 3 dead guys right now. Okay. Luckily for the guy in the front seat, his door stopped the bullets. They entered the door but they didn't go all the way in because the front door's got bullet holes in it. Okay. And there's another one you shot when you were doing the the suppression fire, basically, to keep their heads down as they're driving away.
If I want to,
Put
thanks for
one in the
using your
back of
Prime
the
on me.
car, several
Welcome.
shots directly into the rear of the truck. And one of them comes zinging in through the back and goes right up and hits the sun visor where the driver is as he's driving out. Didn't miss his noggin by much. You know, so we could very easily have 3
I
victims.
don't know why it's so low
Luckily,
quality.
those guys didn't get hit or any way, shape. They're all
Budget.
fine.
I don't know.
Except for the poor guy who's pretty much was dead right there. It didn't take him long. He was gone.
Tomeushi, thank you for the
We
2 months.
see a lot of scenarios, and we
Tomeushi.
deal with
Happy 2 months. Thank you so much. Thank you.
threatening
Thanks,
situations.
Space Kid. Thanks for
I mean,
using your
it's
Prime.
not, you know, we
Welcome.
deal with them all the time where somebody defends themselves. I mean, we do. And there are clear-cut cases where you go, yep, sure did, buddy. You know, you defended yourself. Have a nice day. Unfortunately, this is not one of them.
I'm not feeling so hot now that you guys are.
Unfortunately, we have that effect sometimes.
Well, I don't mean sick. I mean, I actually am starting to be sick in my stomach. I don't know how I can express to you guys that I was in fear for my life. I've never been so scared in my whole life. I've been mad and my hands shake, but I was.
I feel like his fiance is
afraid
more scared.
that I didn't have
Like the
time to
way she
think. I
raised
only
her
reacted.
hand and
What did
like
you see the driver
talked,
of the
like
other
she's
car
like
do
shaking.
when Jordan Davis said, "Yeah, I'm talking to you"?
He reached into his glove department.
It was a big silver chrome.
At least this
either
is higher
9mm
quality.
or 45. It was a large caliber.
And what did the driver do with the gun when he grabbed it from the glove compartment?
He was holding it and cocked it back.
I heard someone yell or someone say something very loud.
And what did you hear that person say?
No, you're not going to talk to me that way.
Do I need to get a lawyer? I mean, it sounds like I'm in deep shit.
Well, that is up to you. We have a Duval County issued a warrant for your arrest for murder and attempted murder. Okay, that's what you're being charged with right now. Okay, just the first step in the process.
The way I see this was, I was scared for my life, and I fought back. And you guys are seeing this as murder.
This is where we're at right now.
Well, it just don't add up.
They'll process you here first, but I'm not sure how long it's going to take you before they got to go through all that kind of stuff. But you will be brought back to Duval County. Like I said, this is a start.
Is there any opportunity to bail?
There's no bond. There's no bond on a murder charge in Duval County. Yeah, it's standard.
Chubby Mouse, thank you for the 100 bits. Janaru, thank you for the 2 months. I hope you have a lovely day too. Thank you. Sarah, thank you for the 2 months. Welcome back.
I'll explain to you how it works on our end. We do our investigation. We get our facts.
What happened in your hometown?
We have a
Or was this again?
prosecutor from the state attorney's office with us who sees all the facts, sees the case. We confer with the state attorney's office, say these are what we have as
Florida,
facts of this case.
Jacksonville.
And they
Okay.
determine, yes, we believe there's
Yeah,
enough
I'm just
to
saying
issue
a
an
lot
arrest
of
warrant
these
at this point based
cases
off the evidence we have. And that's why
on
we
this
obtained
channel
arrest.
who were or are in Florida.
really
Just
didn't know
saying,
that I
just
was being
saying. A lot of them.
I'm sorry we had to meet under these circumstances.
Me too. I mean, if there is, there's probably about 5 things I could have gotten done differently last night, but it's unfortunate it turned out the way it did.
Okay, well, I'll get with the guys here and we'll get you in
The last one we watched was also
Okay.
Florida. I watched the Dahlia one that was Florida. Which one's Casey? And Kaylee? That was Florida too? Wow. Florida wallin'. Could it be more free
He
access
was remanded
to
into
recordings?
custody at the Duval
Actually,
County
yeah, that
Jail,
could be,
where he remained for 14 months
that could
awaiting
be a
trial.
reason, actually.
Did you ask the guys in the red SUV to turn down that bass?
I did. I said, can you turn that down, please?
What was the response from the red SUV?
They turned it off.
And at that point, what did you then say?
I said, thank you. Very soon after, I start hearing things like F him and F that and...
Does it escalate?
Well, the music came back on. Now it got ugly. After hearing the something something cracker and this and that, I hear I should
He
kill
did
that
not
motherfucker.
bring that up
Here, I should
earlier.
fucking kill that motherfucker. And now he's screaming.
Okay.
There's no mistake of what he said. That is
Anytime
what
this
he said.
happens, I feel
Notice
like
the
something
considerable
new happens.
increase in both emphasis and conviction when making his
Yeah.
statements. His lawyer has now instructed him in how to respond, but unfortunately for Michael, the jury had access to his interrogation where he was asked the same questions.
The guy that was in the back is getting really agitated. And my window's up. I can't hear everything he's saying, but, you know, there's a lot of fuck him and fuck that and fuck that bitch. And I don't know if they're singing or what, but it's like they're saying, kill him. So I put my window down again.
I put my window back down and I asked, are you talking about me?
Now, what was the response when you said, are you talking about me?
He reached forward and picked something up and slammed it against the door. I didn't know what it was at first, but when he says, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I look and I'm looking at a barrel. He's showing me a gun and he's threatening me.
What happens now? What did you
there
believe
was
was
no
about
gun?
to happen
How?
to you?
I thought I was gonna be killed, but I still didn't go for my gun at that time. I was just like going, oh my God. Where
But he
is all
didn't
this
show a
hostility
gun. He just
coming
like saw
from? And
like
it was at that point where he said, this shit's going down now.
Not once was this mentioned during his interrogation. It seems to be a poignant recollection when stated here, which would arise suspicion as to why he failed to mention it earlier.
In your wildest dreams, could you fathom being in that position over a common courtesy?
No.
Okay. Now, at this point, what's going through your mind when he said, this shit's going down now?
This was a clear and present danger, and I said, you're not gonna kill me, you son of a bitch.
Okay. And as you said that, were you looking at him or were you now moving to get that fire?
I said that as I was retrieving my pistol.
Could you show the jury exactly what you did?
Well, if we say over here is my glove box, I'm looking out the window, and I said, you're not gonna kill me, you son of a bitch, and I shot.
Okay. And do you even recall how many times you shot?
I do not. Kind of was in a fixed position with the tunnel vision. I didn't realize the SUV was moving. I was still aiming at the rear passenger, and it didn't register that the car was backing up.
Okay. And at some point you realize now there's no more red door in front of your face?
This is where Rhonda starts coming into my mind, because I know she's heard the shots. I know Rhonda. It wasn't just my life I was worried about, no.
And at some point now, do you see that SUV actually drive towards a different direction or try to drive away?
It did, and this is where the...
okay, sorry. I'm
now they're back
so
in line
annoyed at
with
that
if they
comment.
fire on me, they'll hit the front door, and this is where Rhonda comes out.
What was your purpose of firing towards the back of that vehicle? Were you trying?
I was worried about a blind firing situation where they would, you know, shoot over their heads or whatever and hit me and Rhonda. I stopped firing when it appeared that the threat was over.
And how long had you been with Miss Rower?
3.5, 4 years.
Did you have a serious relationship with her?
Absolutely, she's my fiance.
Okay. And were you living with her at the time?
Yes, we were.
Okay. Was this dog kind of your guys' child?
Yes.
Okay. And what was his name?
His name is Charlie.
The defendant just got emotional over his supposed gallantry and undying love for his partner, and now accelerates this emotion for the purpose of expressing how much he loves his pet. In his mind, he is exhibiting appealing human traits to the jury, coming across as a man of clear nobility and selflessness, who only protected the woman he loves from a perceived imminent threat, while also being a gentle soul that sheds a tear at just the mere thought of his beloved puppy. The thing is, the defendant only has tunnel vision with regard to himself and his own perspective. The jury, on the other hand, will be looking at the big picture. Rather than perceiving this emotion from the viewpoint the defendant wants them to, they may see it as a contrived and narcissistic attempt at elevating his own character. He has now shown the jury that he has the personality type to get emotional, and this emotion comes out as he self-describes his valiant conduct and gentle spirit, yet not a shred of emotion was displayed as he described the exact moment he took the life of a young man.
Mr. Dunn, you love Rhonda Rauer.
Yes, sir, I do.
Right? You love her a lot.
Oh, damn. He
Right?
can
Yes, sir, I
bend
do.
that
Right.
nose.
And when she got into that car, she asked you what happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, are you telling this jury that on the way back to the hotel, you told Rhonda Rauer that the boys in the car had a gun?
If I told her on the way to the hotel, I told her several times at the hotel, I told her several times on the way home that this was self-defense.
That wasn't my question. From the time you left the gate station to the time you got back to the Sheraton, how many times did you use the word gun to describe what the boys, let me finish, what the boys in the car had?
I couldn't tell you.
Was it more than one?
At least one.
Mr. Dunn, the truth is, you never told the love of your life that those boys had a gun.
You weren't there.
Did you? You did tell her then?
I said you were not there.
I get that. I know that.
So,
Truth
like, is he wrong,
you never
though?
told Rhonda Rauer they had a gun.
Even though he...
That is incorrect.
Remember to speak loudly into the microphone so everybody can hear you, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Like,
Ms.
she's
Wilson.
more
When you
shook.
came out of the gate gas station and you got into the defendant's car,
Yes.
did the defendant ever tell you he saw a gun in that red SUV?
No.
Did the defendant ever tell you that he saw a weapon of any kind in that SUV?
No.
There was no mention of a stick?
No.
There was no mention of a shotgun?
No.
There was no mention of a barrel?
No.
There was no mention of a lead pipe?
I'm really happy she's being truthful. Even
Back
like
in the
she knows
hotel
this
room,
doesn't
Mr. Howard,
help
that
him,
same
but
night.
she's just like
Did the defendant ever tell you that he saw the boys
cooperating.
with a firearm?
Yeah, I feel so
Did he ever
bad
tell you
for
that he
her.
saw the boys with a weapon?
No.
On the 2-hour drive the following morning, did the defendant ever tell you that he saw a gun in the SUV?
No.
And on that 2-hour drive, did he ever tell you he saw a weapon of any kind in that SUV?
No.
On February 15th, 2014, Michael Dunn was found guilty on 3 counts of attempted murder for which he was rendered a 90-year sentence. 7 months later, on October 1st, he was rendered an additional life sentence without the possibility of parole. His appeal was denied by the First District Court on November 17th, 2016. He is currently being held at the maximum security Oregon State Penitentiary.
Damn, that shit pissed me off. That shit pissed me off. It pissed me off a lot. Jordan Davis's mom, Lucy McBath, is now a U.S. representative and advocates for gun control in Congress. Oh, that's great news. I don't know if you did this 2 hours ago, but if not, take a big sip of water for Einstein Mercius. Oh, okay, will do.